What's going on out there, guys? Welcome to DCA Adventure. We have today a interview of sorts with my awesome man over here, Scott, who is the owner of SHAmory. Is that how you say
Yep.
it? SHAmory. I always want to say
Perfect.
Shaw Memory, but like it's not. You don't say the full word memory. And I was like, oh, it's just
But you got the concept. That's all that matters.
right. I got the concept, you know. But yeah, so thank you all guys thank you for coming here and hopping on and having a little chat with us today about the project that you're building and what you got going on, man. So tell us a little bit about you and what you got going on.
Perfect. Well, thanks for having me, everybody. Hopefully, you find the story interesting. That we just talked about a bit of visual. So it is actually a physical card game that I'm creating here. With the idea came from the fact that I wanted to try to be a part of the community in some way to kind of help grow the space. I kind of come from both a line of educators in my family, so between my mom and other cousins, aunts, uncles being teachers, as well as my current full-time position is in the ed tech space. So kind of have that side of myself ingrained in my head. So as I started thinking about ways that I could play a role, whether that's a small part or a big part, ultimately, who knows, I came back around to trying to create something that would spread both education and awareness around kind of the Bitcoin community. And over the past probably year plus, I kind of tossed through different ideas in my head, kind of settled back on a gaming concept that went through different iterations, and then that kind of fast forwards us to SHAmory, which we can get into the details here, is literally a card game that the goal is to bring awareness through, whether it's a 5 or 6 year old playing the game or a 50 or 6 year old. It's kind of just meant to be a fun game. Anybody can pick it up and play, quick in nature, so probably 10 or so minutes, say. So nothing you have to spend a lot of time doing or play it multiple times, whatever suits your fancy, and then kind of just start weaving some of the terminology that's out there into the back of people's heads as a way to get them adopted into the ecosystem. That's kind of the general idea.
Right, yeah, because I browsed upon it on Twitter, and I was like, oh, it's actually it's a card game, okay. And I was and it's like focused on memory and stuff like that, and I was like, my kids would love that. My youngest daughter, she's like really good on like memory games and matching games and stuff like that. So it, I was like, I think she'd like this. Just and I'm sure, of course, me as a father of kids in the cryptocurrency, I was like, what not better way to teach a kid about Bitcoin than teach them in
Exactly.
a way of a game that they love to play anyway. Um, my one of my good buddies in our community is Bitcoin Jake. He actually created Satoshi's Quest, um,
Nice.
which is Minecraft built on blockchain, and it's literally, I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. So you've heard about it. Search for the loot. Get Bitcoin. You buy lives in Bitcoin. Everything. Good buddy of mine. So
Exactly. All those little things will go a long
right,
way.
they will
Just
go a
normalizing.
long way, especially for teaching the younger generation because that's stuff that they really like.
Yep.
So it just gives them something they're already doing and just twist it just a little bit different way to teach them. So I was like, that's actually a really awesome idea, and I showed my daughter like the YouTube video or whatever of it, and she goes, "Can we get that?" And I already bought it, and she goes, "Awesome!" And she goes, "Oh, did you have?" And because she's like she's 5 right now, so she's always in the, "Oh, that costed money," and I was like, "No, actually, as a daddy paid with Bitcoin." And she goes, "Oh, like with your computers?" And I was like, "Yes, like with my computers, because I'm a miner. I'm assuming you're you into mining at all?"
So actually, I've never actually mined
Okay.
myself for various reasons, but the more I kind of dove in down the rabbit hole, I kept learning more about it, kind of trying to understand the intricacies
Right.
around, and then really where the concept of the game came from is around. Hopefully, you don't say I'm completely wrong. And this so far nobody has is just around the concept. There's a nonce and there's a target.
Yep.
You got to match those two things up in some way, and that's where the trigger went in my head. I'm like, oh, you're just playing memory.
Yep.
The energy
It's
from a
really
computer is no different than the energy of your 5 year old daughter
right.
remembering. And
Correct.
so once that clicked in my head, I said, okay, I, I can get this down to something simple. It took a while. The game was a lot more complex, say 12 months ago when it was just, my wife and I playing. or my son or sister-in-law or brother-in-law, just kind of sitting around. It's kind of been simplified in many aspects, also kind of through the different characters that are part of it, trying to make it engaging and fun, to kind of weave that in. So it's been a fun experience.
Now are all those families you named, are they actually all into crypto? Like, do they all like know about Bitcoin? I mean, whether or not they like actually hold Bitcoin, but are they fully aware of what it is?
Only through me. So obviously my wife most of all, just because
Right.
where that side of things.
Because she hears the most of it, right?
Exactly. Their family members just here and there, obviously hearing about it more since I started working on pushing this project out more so in the past.
Right.
It's only been a few weeks where I got the website up fully.
Right. Yeah. It looked like it was pretty early on, like in like
Yep.
the actual development's been there, but creation is becoming the thing at this point,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
bringing it out to the public.
It's out
And
there, so
yeah,
taking those pre-orders now. Got so the first print run order went in last week for the full run. So obviously I have the test stuff right here.
nice.
So between the print run and then shipping to get to me should be about 60 days between those two things. So still targeting that end of June time frame to send it out to get it in your daughter's hands and hopefully many other people's.
Right. Now I was gonna show everybody the website here on a second. You can kind of talk about it as we scroll through it together. But I know that you did also. We talked a little bit prior to this about maybe a giveaway potentially for the community that we'll be having coming up here shortly. Once we get all the stuff taken care of and all the logistics are put through and things are done, we talked a little bit about that and something to look forward out there, everybody out there. I know you joined our Discord, so if anybody has any questions, I'm going to link his Twitter down in the description below, as well as the website. That way they can easily find the Twitter as well as the actual website if they have any questions. I think there's 10% off right now on the website from what I've seen when I refresh.
I actually made a special code for you guys, so
Awesome.
for anybody listening, for that 10% off, if you want to drop in DCA 10, you can go ahead and get that 10% off, and you can link that in the notes as well. But DCA,
I will do that. So DCA 10, all caps on DCA, or is it just lower? It doesn't matter. Okay, cool. I think some of them are like you have to have caps, some you don't. So awesome. So DCA 10, guys, you heard it, and you can get 10% off your order of SHAmory. Like you want to say memory every single time. It's fun.
256 plus the memory. That's what.
Yeah, SHA 256. So here we go. We will go ahead and pull this up. Boom. You can see that, I am assuming, yes?
Perfect.
Oh, but my Zoom can't see it. Darn. I froze my Zoom. Because I'm trying to screen share through OBS. Funny. 1 second. Put that back to normal. Hopefully that didn't just freeze my OBS, which it looks like it did. Let's see. There we go. Alright, there. Now it's back up. I was like, where did it go? So we will pop up this, and there we go. So we have the game right here. I guess now you can't see it because I'm mute. There we go. So now you can see it. They can see it. So here is the website, guys. Now remember, you can put in, when you go to pre-order, you can put in DCA 10, get 10% off. But this is basically the game. It was an interesting little game. Of course, is what caught me because I have younger kids, and they like interesting little monsters like this, as most do. But yeah, you can go on the website, click on the how to play, and yeah, it's a fun educational game. Do you want to walk us through anything on this website specifically?
Sure, maybe we kind of alluded to it a few times, but where the name came from, so it really is just that mixture of SHA-256 plus the concept of memory. Smush those together and you get SHAmory, so that's
right.
And then down in that lower kind of fun and education section, I kind of highlight 9 different concepts that will come to play while playing the game. So these are really the things. While you have but the person doesn't have to have any knowledge of any of this stuff before going into play, and some of it is just alluded to in a very passive way. So, for example, being able to see, maybe I'll bring up one, for example. So if we're talking about the blocks as they start getting built, so here's block height 7. You can see it on the screen. It includes hashes at the top and the bottom, and those are the actual hashes from the 7th block that was mined. And for the person who has no idea what these characters mean, it doesn't mean anything, but hopefully just seeing that these things are connecting in a row ultimately will start spreading that concept where whether it's a day from now or 10 years from now, they're in, that's what those numbers and letters strung together meant, and why there was the same one here and the same one there. So just kind of passive exposure to things like a hash, things like Genesis block,
right.
What an attack is kind of the concept here, and let it all come into play.
Right. What a nonce is.
Yep.
All the things, the fundamental things that you should learn or at least be aware of, at least in some shape, way, or form. And this is a nice, fun little way to learn all those interesting things. So yeah, it's an awesome website. Real simple. I'm big on websites. I used to run my own website, had my own design and everything.
Nice.
But being in the space that I'm in and mining, Shopify wasn't a big fan of cryptocurrency and mining, and I got my payments banned. So I lost my website just because I didn't want to go and have to pay the extra fees and everywhere else in the time of all the craziness. I was like, I just don't want to deal with it right now. Like I got too much other stuff to deal with, and it was fun. If you are aware of Grammaton on our DCA Discord or on our Fridays, Chris is his name that he says on his thing. He is a personal brand. He builds brands. He owns Dojoroid.com. He designs our DCA merch. So he's the one that deals with all that kind of stuff. He's the personal branding, so I'm sure he'll get a real good kick out of this video. So I'm sure his daughter will be just as thrilled to try this out. So
excited to hear it again, especially from his daughter.
Right on. So go ahead and pop that open. There. So let's switch it back. So yeah, is there anything else that you would like to tell, like to speak about, talk about? Where did how long ago did you find out about Bitcoin? Is that
Yeah, so my story kind of, like many people probably, starts with the last bull run.
Right.
Kind of get pulled in and it was probably, initially through Bitcoin price, but then kind of, like many people, dabbled in the altcoin side of things and found out what that was like in a positive and negative way.
Right. That's for sure.
Exactly. But then I kind of like saying, unlike probably the majority of people who then were dissuaded and kind of said, okay, I'm done, whatever, it's magic money, done with it. It hooked me in enough to be able to keep learning. So that's really what I've been doing over the past 3 years.
Just learning.
Self-process of going through little by little, learning a little bit, maybe more, that side of things, and then being able to say, okay, I understand this, and then also started to understand, obviously, okay, this is Bitcoin, this is what altcoins are, this is the purpose behind all these different things, and that's part of why I wanted to do something like this game, to help. I knew there'd be that learning curve for the next time this all happens again, because it's probably going to happen again, to help people not make some of those mistakes that some of myself or other people have made along the way, and say, okay, there is a difference here. Some are legitimate,
Exactly.
some are not, set them down the right path to start with. And then
Puts it in their memory.
exactly.
No pun intended.
My story started, and then, like I said, I have a degree in accounting, actually. Where my first professional side of things came into play, which, if I think about this hard enough, that's probably where it all initially clicked, where I was in the public accounting side of things in an audit, at an audit firm, and so my everyday job was going to audit clients and going through a verification process of their financial records, which is okay. That's a blockchain, so the whole concept of verification and that nature of things, I think, have been great at me going back 15 years ago when I was doing that sort of work for a number of years. And then, like I mentioned earlier, now my full-time job is in the ed tech space, where we're building a product that is essentially Google Maps for learning. And so instead of plotting your driving directions, it's your lifelong learning continuum. So find a job you're interested in, we'll tell you how to get there. Part of that overarching concept in our longer-term roadmap is how blockchain records can be used to verify your learning continuum. So instead of, for example, having to call up your get your records from your school, you should own those. They should be attached to yourself at any time. That's what kind of watch your point along the map. So I've had that exposure in my everyday life as well. So between the audit and accounting side and my ed tech side, and then just natural interests, it all kind of came together with this side of things, and at least to me makes sense.
Right. And breathe the interesting game to learn about this.
Exactly. Very excited to start getting in people's hands, and I'm planning on still going to the rescheduled Bitcoin 2020 conference in San Francisco.
Nice.
In Q3, so for yourself or anybody out there listening, maybe at that, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to meet up and connect all there, so that, knock on wood, we return to some sort of normalcy.
Right.
For these next few months.
That's the truth, man. It's been hectic everywhere. So many things have been canceled or moved to online, and it's been chaos. But it'll all breathe a silver lining, so it'll all work out. That's how I see it.
Staying safe inside now and looking back.
Just stay safe, stay clean.
Yep.
Make sure you wash your hands. Right. Yeah, that's for sure. If there's anything else, now would be the time for you to go ahead and say anything else that you would like to say before we go ahead and close out of the interview.
Well, I guess thanks for everybody for you've made it this long to learn a little bit about the crazy concept they came up with. Don't hesitate to put that promo code to use.
Right.
And then put on there and pre-order. Like I said, should be end of June when shipments start going out. Knock on wood, assuming the pandemic.
Nothing else happens.
Exactly. But they are on the way. It is real. So they will get to you eventually, and hopefully help pass the time while you're inside. The other, I guess, in case anybody's out there listening from as part of an organization in the industry, the other concept I'm interested in is if you guys are interested in using the game as swag while at conferences in a branded fashion. So being able to put your company's brand on the package in some way. That's another idea that I'm tossing around. So if somebody out there is in that side of things that wants to connect, and both through my personal Twitter or through the game's Twitter, feel free to reach out. I'll be able to connect up.
Nice, and I'll have all those links down in the description below for everybody. Make it easy. So, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming out and having this interview and sharing a little bit of your time and your story and your product. And I hope everybody has fun playing it. And I'm sure I will. I'll have a video, I'm sure, once I get it up, and once we get it and the kids are playing with it, I'm sure there'll be a video of it. I'll send it on over to you. Let you use it, man. So I appreciate your time, and thank you, my man Scott.
Thanks for spreading the word and connecting today.
Not a problem, my man. All right, thank you guys.